Welcome to Investigation. This is your host, Scoo, along with my co-hosts,
Kath.
And Hatter.
This week we are going to be talking about West Virginia cemeteries. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start off today. I'm going to be talking about Hatfield Cemetery. Now, I feel like in order to talk about Hatfield Cemetery, I'm going to have to talk to you guys about the feud between the Hatfields and the McCoys. The feud took place along the West Virginia and Kentucky border. You have the Hatfields of West Virginia and the McCoys of Kentucky. Now, they lived on opposite sides of Tug Fork, which is like a border stream, like a border river. The Hatfield family was led by William Anderson, nicknamed Devil Ants.
Devil ants?
And
That's what I heard too.
I'm gonna do it again. That didn't quite come out right. Devil Ains.
Ains. That makes more sense.
Hatfield.
Okay.
Which I'll probably go ahead and refer to him as Devil Ains the rest of the time, just to make it easier. Now, he was the patriarch of the family. The Hatfields were very well connected politically and more influential. Now, Devil Ains had a timbering operation which was the source of the family's wealth. The McCoys were under the leadership of Randolph McCoy. Now, both of the families fought for the Confederates in the Civil War. In 1865, Randolph's brother, Asa Harmon McCoy, was murdered by the Logan Wildcats, which was a militia group that Devil Ains and other Hatfields were members of. Now, many people, including members of his own family, regarded Asa as a traitor because he served in the Union Army during the Civil War.
Messed up.
I think that's kind of messed up. But at the same time, if you think about during the Civil War, it was really brother against brother.
Yeah.
And the Union Army was up north. So I'm assuming that means that his brothers and stuff were more on the Confederate side.
Yes.
Which is why they viewed him as a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some see this as the start of the feud, while others kind of believe that this was just a standalone event. Now we're going to go to 1878. Randolph McCoy accused Floyd Hatfield of stealing one of his hogs. Floyd Hatfield was tried for the theft, but it was presided over a cousin of Devil Ains. Kind of rigged, huh?
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
They were like, here, you stole my pig. And the guy was like, no, I didn't. And they were like, let's take it to court. And then the court was like, that's my brother. So, or cousin?
Cousin.
Yeah. So, bitch, you guilty.
Now, it was hinged on the testimony of witness Bill Stanton. Stanton testified in Floyd Hatfield's favor, and the McCoys were infuriated when the charges were dropped. So he was never convicted of theft if he did do it. Now, 2 years later, Stanton was killed by Sam and Paris McCoy, which were nephews of Randolph. Sam stood trial for the murder, but was acquitted for self-defense reasons. At a local election day gathering in 1880, Chauncey at Hatfield met Rosanna McCoy, Randolph's daughter. The pair seemed to hit it off and slipped away for a few hours, if you catch my drift.
Eyebrow wiggle,
Right?
eyebrow wiggle.
I was trying to think of a word for something for that. My mind went blank.
Rosanna fled to West Virginia to be with Chauncey despite the disapproval of her family. But unfortunately, Chauncey would not settle down with now pregnant Rosanna.
Oh.
Bitch.
Because shortly after, Chauncey married Nancy McCoy, which was Rosanna's cousin.
Ew.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's digging his hole deeper.
Yep. Rosanna was heartbroken by these events and never recovered emotionally. It's possible that she died of a broken heart around the age of 29 and 30.
Aww.
Did she have her baby?
Some sources say that she gave birth to a daughter whose name was Sarah Elizabeth McCoy in the spring of 1881. But it's also said that Sarah died at the age of 8 months from measles.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. August 1882, at another Election Day event, 3 of Randolph McCoy's sons ended up in a violent dispute with Ellison Hatfield, brother of Devil Ains. One of the McCoy brothers stabbed Ellison Hatfield multiple times and then shot him in the back.
Damn.
Okay.
Mhm.
That escalated quickly.
It
Yeah.
did. Now, the McCoy brothers were captured by the Hatfields. Once Ellison died of his wounds, the 3 boys were tied to pawpaw bushes, which is like a fruit, where each was shot numerous times and killed. So they took matters into their own hands.
Yeah. So this went from like, you stole my pig and your cousin said that you weren't guilty, correct?
Mm-hmm.
To like, I'm gonna kill you and your friends and family.
Yeah, essentially.
Jesus.
Over a pig.
Now, following the killings, McCoys attempted unsuccessfully to have the Hatfields arrested and tried in court. A group of Hatfield men, led by Cap Hatfield, which was another one of Devil Aint's sons, and Jim Vance, ambushed the McCoys' home on New Year's Day in 1888. Randolph fled, escaping into the woods. His son Calvin and daughter Alifair, which I just want to make a side note. I've been saying these names and they sound completely and totally made up, but these were actually these people's names.
Well, I was actually
say, what's up with the names?
I was gonna make a comment of there's like a lot of names all in this mix, and so I'm trying to like stay with the plot points basically because I don't even remember who you said like 5 names ago because
Right.
it's just like gets so muddy.
It gets
so
super
fast.
thick and muddy fast.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and I'm terrible with names. Like, I have to hear it multiple times for it to stick.
So back to this. His daughter Alifair and his son Calvin were both killed in the crossfire. Now, Randolph's wife Sarah was left badly beaten by the Hatfields, suffering a crushed skull.
Damn.
Ooh.
Now, shortly after the New Year's massacre, a bounty hunter named Frank Phillips chased down Jim Vance and Cap Hatfield, and he ended up killing Vance.
Real quick, I apologize to everybody if you hear a subtle thumping in the background of this.
That would be my dog this time.
Was it your dog? I'm pretty sure it was your cat
Eh.
digging at the door out there.
No, it was my dog.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the animals is making some thumps right outside the door, and so I don't know if the mic is picking it up or not, but yeah. So, sorry. Go ahead, Scoot.
On January 19th, Phillips' group met the Hatfields on the West Virginia side of Tug Fork River, and the 2 groups exchanged gunfire. Now, this became known as the Battle of Grapevine Creek. Phillips rounded up 9 Hatfield family members and supporters and hauled them up to stand trial. Now, the trial began in 1888. 8 of them were sentenced to life in prison. Ellison Mounts, who was believed to be the son of Ellison Hatfield, was sentenced to death. His nickname was Cottontop, and many view him as kind of like an scapegoat for the Hatfield family during all this. February 18th, 1890, reports claim that his last words were, "They made me do it. The Hatfields made me do it." The fighting between the families eased following the hanging of Mounts. So after he was hanged, it kind of dwindled. So now that you guys kind of know the background between the Hatfields and McCoys, I can go ahead and talk about Hatfield Cemetery.
For that though,
Yes.
did we know why he was the only one sentenced to death?
No, I couldn't really find an exact reasoning. I think that's probably
Okay.
why he was kind of viewed as the scapegoat.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So, like, to recap that, because, like I said, there was a lot of names.
But
Yeah.
yes, I do apologize on that.
No, it's
guys.
okay.
It
I
also
mean,
seemed like they had a lot of sons and daughters.
There was-
too,
it was a
like, in
very
each
large-
family.
It
I'm
was
like,
a-
how many do these guys have?
it was a family bush, not a family tree, it seems.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so like, just trying to sort of recap, it started with there was something that happened before the hog.
Yes. That was 1865, which was Randolph McCoy's brother, Asa Harmon McCoy, was murdered.
And he was what they viewed as the traitor, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the hog happened, and then somebody from each side snuck off with each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got pregnant, but then he left her for her cousin.
Yes.
And then she passed away, her daughter passed away, most likely.
Yes.
And then basically from there, people just started killing each other.
Literally. That's
Yeah.
Solid. Just making sure I had all the events in order.
No, it escalated that quickly.
Moral of the story: don't steal someone's hog. I was
All right.
dying to work that in somewhere.
You're thinking about it all episode
I
so far. You're like,
Where,
we'll get back to
where
it.
can I slip this in?
All right, so we just got to the actual cemetery.
Yes, we're going to
Yeah.
get to the actual cemetery. Now, in fact, there are actually 2 Hatfield cemeteries, which obviously both have members of the Hatfield family. They're about 7 miles apart from each other. I am going to talk about one in particular, which is in Sarah Ann, West Virginia. And the cemetery is actually tucked away up on a really high hill, and you have to climb a steep, rutted, rocky path to get to the graveyard. And there's also even like a small bridge that crosses like underneath the cemetery sign. Now, this is actually the final resting place of Devil Ants Hatfield. Yeah. Now, he passed away in 1921. His surviving children commissioned a life-size statue to a sculpturing firm in Italy. The statue is made of marble, and it has been the marker for his grave since 1962.
Can't even imagine how expensive that was.
Yeah.
Because like in my research, I was looking up like the cost of headstones for no apparent reason other than my autism got the best of me, and I was like, I just need to know like how much this cost back then.
Yeah.
And it was like $100 or something back then, which roughly, and this was in like 1930 something. And from that point till now, it would roughly cost us $5,000, and it was for a very basic flat headstone to put on. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't even imagine how much a sculpture made in Italy,
Made of marble.
made of marble, would have been.
Oh, yeah.
And you also have to think that's very extravagant.
Very extravagant.
Yeah.
Most wealthy families even don't have anything like that done.
No,
Yeah.
like they might have like a family mausoleum
Yeah.
that they'll put them all in there, but they won't have that. Like they won't have a marble statue made and imported from Italy
I was about to
just for
say,
their family members.
especially outsourcing from out of the
Yes.
country. Like, I can't imagine how costly that was for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah.
feels more of like a statement.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, more of
Yeah.
a statement than actually honoring the deceased.
Now, folks driving late at night have reported to see figures at the foot of the hill by the small bridge that goes underneath the sign. And now all who have seen them swear that it's the ghost of Devil Ains and his sons. And other stories just involve like foggy nights and him and his sons. They'll rise up and go marching down to the water by the roadside. Although, when I went digging, I could not find any personal stories. I could not find anything to back up these claims. So I just kind of feel like this is very much
Trying to
ghost
make-
stories.
yeah,
It's a
Time-
cemetery, so it has to be haunted.
It-
kind
yeah,
of
Like,
vibe.
yeah.
it's a cemetery and it's a famous one, so we have to find or make up some sort of ghost story to attract visitors.
Yeah, because I could find nothing.
can't find my words
nothing
today
on
either.
Reddit. I couldn't find not a single
Thing.
thing.
That's what, like, in my one that we're also going to get to pretty shortly, I kind of fell into the same thing.
Mhm.
Like, I was looking through Reddit to be like, and that's where I actually discovered where the base of that legend was
Mhm.
completely false.
Yeah.
Not spoiler alert, but it was just not true at all. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like that's kind of a bummer. It definitely just feels like sometimes people are so desperate for spooky
Yes.
things that they're just willing to kind of be like, like the Grafton Monster. I saw an
Yeah.
unexplained shape and now it's this giant monster. Where it could
Yes.
have been just a weird shadow, but now suddenly it's the spirits of
Yes.
Devil Ains back with his sons. And it's like, all right, come on, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And that's really all I got for you on this one.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, that kind of segues perfectly into mine since I just
Yeah.
gave a bit of a spoiler alert. So I'm actually going to talk about Woodmere Cemetery. It's actually called Woodmere Memorial Park, a cemetery that's located in Huntington, West Virginia. Now, Woodmere Memorial Park was established in 1918. It's located on Washington Boulevard. It's nearly 50 acres in total, which for reference, because like when I say acres, that means nothing to my brain.
Yeah.
A football field is only 1.3 acres. So the cemetery is the equivalent to almost 38 football fields.
Oh,
in
wow.
size.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's a massive cemetery. Not to be confused, though, with the Woodmere Cemetery that's in, I believe it was Michigan. Michigan or Detroit? Detroit, Michigan is an actual thing.
Yes.
Yes.
So I was about to say, or Detroit, but that's the same place.
It's just the city.
Yeah, it's just the city. Not to be confused with the Woodmere in Michigan, because that one was way larger. And so sometimes when I tried to do my research, that one would pop up, and I was like, wait a minute. But, anyways, our Woodmere that we're talking about today is home to 5 mausoleums, as well as a few smaller private ones. And it has a pretty notable legend attached to it, like I was saying.
Mhm.
But people do say that the entire cemetery is haunted, claiming to see shadowy apparitions, feeling cold spots, and a heavy and eerie feeling, specifically by one of the graves, which we're going to explore in a little bit. So, like I said, this is a pretty massive cemetery. It has over 15,000 people buried here. Notable names like Virginia Ruth Egner, T. Texas Tyler, and Clifford Carwood Lipton, they're all buried here. Now, Virginia Egner, she was known professionally as Dagmar. She was an American actress, model, and television personality in the 1950s.
Okay.
She actually was one of like the first major female stars of television.
Okay.
David Luke Myrick, known professionally as T. Texas Tyler, was an American country singer and songwriter, primarily known for his 1948 hit The Deck of Cards. I didn't listen to it, to be fair. I just didn't think about it, but I guess it was a pretty big hit of the time, which is cool. And then Clifford Lipton was a commissioned officer during World War II. He eventually earned a promotion to first lieutenant before he left the army. And there's a couple other like pretty notable names there. But one kind of infamous grave is labeled as Mother Edith L. Blood, 1878 to 1939. So the legend begins. Ooh. It's said that at night on a full moon, or just midnight in some cases, or on Halloween night in some cases, the light hits the stone in just the right way that the stone is bleeding.
Oh.
Now, Edith is rumored to have been a nurse who murdered children.
Ew.
Oh.
Yeah, earning her nickname Mother Blood.
Ah.
So I researched Mother Blood everywhere. I typed it into Reddit, I typed it into Google like 1,400 times, I typed it into story.com where I find all my newspaper articles. Nothing. Absolutely
Really
nothing.
nothing. Yep.
Yeah. So I did a lot more digging. I actually went to a website that listed every single person that was buried in the cemetery until I tracked down Edith's grave in the section it was at. So finally, I figured out that the blood that people see is just likely rust stains from the older headstone that it is,
Makes sense.
and
Yeah.
can be seen on other headstones.
So why would
Why
they
was
pick
she
just
targeted?
that one?
Because she has a spooky last name, obviously. Edith L. Blood was simply just a mother. That's why it says Mother Edith L. Blood on her gravestone. She was
Gotcha.
a mama.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah, makes sense.
yeah.
It's pretty logical.
Edith Lake Peck, our star of the story here. She was born on November 4th in 1878 in Chautauqua, New York. That's probably pronounced wrong. I apologize. She married Ralph Elmo Blood on June 29th in 1905. They were the parents of 2 sons and 2 daughters. She lived in Clifton, New Jersey for about 5 years, and then Huntington, West Virginia in 1930. She died on the 13th of February in 1939 in Cabell, West Virginia. Cable?
How's it spelled?
Cabell.
Cabell?
Cabell, probably. I don't know. I'm not from around here.
I'm not either. I'm not. I'm
I
not
was gonna
from
say,
around here.
bitch.
I'm currently here. Still a city I've never heard of.
I've
though.
been here for like 6 months.
Yeah, I've never even really seen that city listed
Yeah.
or heard it. So
Part of me feels like it's Cabell,
Cabell.
just from the spelling, but that's just me.
I also know, like, and I'm sorry that all the West Virginians around here, y'all pronounce things kind of weird.
Well,
So
I mean,
it's
that'd be
like,
no offense, really, because like I mean, so with me moving down here, I had to really learn the language.
yeah, it's
Like,
just some things that I like read. Like, there's a park that I'll take my dog to,
yeah.
and it's pronounced one way here, but I pronounced it how it's spelled,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
everybody was like, no.
yeah,
I
that's
was like,
exactly
oh
what they're
shit.
like here for me. Like, there's this one restaurant here where it's spelled like Napoli's, but everybody here pronounces it
Napoli's.
like Napoli's.
It's Napoli's.
Like, it's not Napoli's, it's Napoli's, guys.
No, it's Napoli's.
Yeah, well,
Napoli's.
you're a local, so of
You're,
course you would
you're
say
a West
that.
Virginian.
You say you are a local. You were born and raised here, so of course you would say that.
Well, that's
funny.
like not to like correct you on pronunciation.
Oh,
We actually
starting already, guys.
I'm sorry, guys. I feel
Warning.
like I have to throw it out here. We actually, at least how I've always heard it, is Huntington.
Huntington.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what like I assumed, but it is spelled with an extra T.
I
So I was like, I'm
know.
just gonna enunciate it a little bit more,
Yeah.
because if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, the West Virginians rubbing off. No, if I'm wrong, I can just be like, sorry, I'm from New York. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, like that's what I do.
yeah.
That's what I did when I first moved here, and everyone was like giving me weird looks. I'm from New York, okay?
So yes, our Edith Blood here, she went to Cabell,
Cabell.
Virginia, West Virginia, at the age of 60. That's where she died, and she was buried in Woodmere Memorial Park. Her husband Ralph moved back to New Jersey for some time, and then after her death, when he passed away 17 years later, he was returned to Huntington, and also buried in Woodmere. So the two are together once again, which is very
Aw.
sweet.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny, crazy to me how this rumor started. I couldn't even find where the rumor began actually, but it was like people saw that she had a spooky last name, and so they were all just like, you know what? She murdered babies. It's like, what the fuck?
Where the heck did that come from?
Yeah, she's literally just a girl, you know? She was
Yeah,
literally
like
just a
you're just
mom.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like you're tarnishing her good name just
Yeah.
over her name.
And there's another there's another headstone there with the name Blood on it too. So they just like targeted her because people just
Mother
wanted
of blood.
Because it
yeah,
says
Mother Blood, and they
Yeah.
just wanted to demonize some poor lady who passed away. But a spooky case that did actually happen here.
Ooh.
Well, not here, but the people from the case are buried here. This is actually the burial site that is said to be haunted, creating that very eerie, heavy feeling to those who
Mhm.
visit it. It's the burial site of Samuel, Mary, and Thomas Patterson. So, Samuel White Patterson was one of the first officials on the ground in development of coal in McDowell County. He had become a successful and widely known coal operator in that section of the state. He was born in Elk County, Pennsylvania, actually, on September 24th in 1863, but by the age of 16, he had entered his father's office where they focused in the coal industry. And there he acquired a ton of knowledge about it, being afforded every opportunity to really familiarize himself with the business and the technical branches of it all. And that skill was really applied when he moved to West Virginia, where
Okay.
I believe his uncle acquired some of the coal business, so he was able to like work his way in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1903, Samuel Patterson married Mary Cleveland, who was a college graduate. The two gave birth to their son, Thomas Cleveland, on August 3rd, 1904. Thomas would grow up and become a writer and a poet, and in 1926, he would actually graduate from Yale.
Okay.
So at Yale, he was a member of the exclusive senior society, Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is Yale's University's oldest and most famous secret senior society.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Not really secret if it's the most famous.
Well.
Yeah, that's kind of what a lot of people comment on, actually. So, Skull and Bones was founded in 1832 It's known for selecting 15 elite juniors annually and for producing powerful figures in politics and business. It also operates from a mysterious building called the Tomb, all shrouded in secrecy and conspiracy theories. In reality, there's little pictures of the tomb, and like people will stand and watch these 15 junior classmen go in and out of the tomb all the time, so it's not that secret.
Okay, yes. Like it's
Okay.
literally backing up my whole. It's not a
Your whole
secret.
point.
Like,
Yeah. Members called the Bonesmen take oaths of silence, and it has fostered powerful alumni like President Bush Sr. and Jr. and Senator John Kerry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
yeah.
So after graduation, Thomas returned to Huntington to live and pursue a literary career. Thomas had a slim volume of poetry privately published and had completed a biography of Edgar Allan Poe. Thomas is said to have an unusual writing ability, but in his writing, he did seem to be occupied with the morbid side of things and displayed a good deal of interest in stories of the supernatural. Thomas also had suffered from a mental condition for several years. His parents sought the advice of a Baltimore psychiatrist who actually recommended that he be institutionalized for treatment.
Oh, wow.
Oh, going all the way back to our first episode again with the.
I couldn't find if he actually was. I don't think he actually was.
Yeah,
Because
no.
that
I
would
know.
more than likely pop up somewhere.
Yeah.
I would
I
have
was more
thought.
meaning like our comments where it's like, oh yeah, you have anxiety, admit to the asylum.
Yeah. Kind of, except he genuinely had some pretty serious mental conditions.
Mhm.
Because
Oh.
on the night of October 23rd in 1932, Thomas walked into the living room of the family home.
Uh-huh.
His mother, Mary, was listening to the radio, just chilling in there, and he shot her twice in the head.
Oh, wow.
What?
Was there ever a reason?
For no reason, or just
Any reason given?
I guess there was a reason given, but it's not a credible reason.
Gotcha.
So I will get to that right at the
Alright.
tail end.
okay? Yep.
His father was reading a magazine in the study, and Thomas walked in and shot his father in the head, and then also took a hatchet to his father's head,
Oh.
leaving a gash right across the forehead.
Oh.
The hatchet would later be found in Thomas's room. Thomas would then go on to lock himself in the bedroom, where he, trigger warning for self-harm, he slashed his wrist with a butcher knife and bled to death.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
There was a note found in his bathroom, and it read, quote, "I have been murdered by a ghost, a devil. I wish to be cremated. Homicidal maniac, I am sorry." End quote.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
The bathroom where the note was found was also described to be completely in shambles, like blood smeared on the bathtub and the basin, as well as the walls where Thomas had tried to write on the walls with his own blood. And
Oh.
yeah, there's also seems to be hatchet marks where he hacked at the wall. I don't know if that was maybe before. Either way, the bodies were discovered after the servants weren't able to get into the home. And then later, I'm not sure the exact day, but a little bit later, the funeral services were held. And 3 identical gray caskets bearing all of the members were laid to rest side by side in Woodmere Cemetery.
Gotcha.
So while there's a lot of focus on Edith's blood, we should 100%, I mean, we should let all of these graves rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we should especially stop degrading the name of some poor woman.
Yes.
Don't just create a story like that for an innocent woman who did nothing like that.
Yeah. The cemetery has enough people with tragedies that have happened to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, in reality, if you're trying to find something spooky, you don't have to make something up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's
Just literally just do the research and look it up.
And we definitely don't need to create an egregore of mother blood, which basically an egregore is a thought formed entity. When a mass amount of people believe in something, that
Yes.
energy actually creates the entity.
It manifests something.
Okay.
Yes. Let's leave the haunted cemetery to its current ghosts and not add another one
For no
that's
reason.
actually mother blood and
Yeah.
her gravestone actually bleeds or something. We don't need to be adding any more the ghosts there and the spirits there and the people there should be able to rest in peace. And as always, if you are ever planning on visiting a cemetery, please just be respectful of the people who are laid to rest there. Because even if they have a tragic past, like the Patterson family, they don't deserve to have their eternal rest interrupted because you want to be a dickhead, basically.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is the Woodmere Cemetery.
All right. Well, I guess I'm last.
Best for last, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I
I don't
was
consider
confident.
mine the best. It's certainly something. So I'm covering Riverview Cemetery in Parkersburg, West Virginia, which I believe is said to be, I think it's like the third largest city in West Virginia. So that's a nice little fun fact for you.
All right.
Riverview Cemetery is a historical final resting place for many notable persons from the Parkersburg area, with the first grave being interred in 1801. Mr. Parker, the person Parkersburg is named for, bought a tract of land of about 2,400 acres, including Riverview Cemetery. Only a year later, in 1802, Joseph Cook came to the area and purchased a great deal of that land. They started the Cook family cemetery there, and you'll hear it called that still today from locals. It officially became a public cemetery for community use in 1843 by Joseph Cook's children. And here's a little fun fact for you. The Cook House on Murdoch Avenue A was built by his son, Tillinghast Cook, and it still stands today as a historical landmark.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. It even has like a little sign actually saying the Cook House, and then like has a little mini history on it.
His name was Tillinghast?
Yeah.
Huh, that's
Yeah,
kind of a
we're
badass name.
continuing that name.
Tillinghast.
Yeah.
That feels fancy.
It's like a it kind of is. It kind of sounds like he may have been on like Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Downton Abbey, like the butler Tillinghast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Being one of the oldest cemeteries in Parkersburg, there are many notable people from the area who have made Riverview their final resting place. Given that Riverview was the place to be buried for quite some time, many of the people interred here were mostly of notable families throughout the area, from businessmen all the way up to politicians. Probably one of the most prominent is Peter Godwin Van Winkle. He was the first after West Virginia became a state. He was one of 2 U.S. senators, and he got involved in a situation where Andrew Johnson was to either be impeached or stay in office, and Peter was the deciding vote. Senator Van Winkle voted that he not be impeached, resulting in him never being elected as anything for the rest of his life. So I guess it was not a very popular opinion for him to not be impeached.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems that way.
very much so, yeah.
The jury has decided that you suck for your opinion. Therefore, you won't get hired anywhere else.
Yeah, no. Riverview is home to a wide array of historical figures and people throughout the community, with many interesting stories to be told about the people in the area, even the unexpected. Especially one person's grave with a headstone marked in Mandarin Chinese. There was a family who had Chinese cleaners in Parkersburg, and the matriarch of that family passed away while in Parkersburg and was buried here in Riverview. It is said that her son later came and took her remains back to China because it was the belief that to enter heaven she needed to be there to honor the traditional Chinese beliefs of returning her to her ancestral home for a proper burial.
Okay.
And next, we are moving on to the ghostly part of it.
Ooh.
One of the most well-known graves at the cemetery features a statue known by locals as the Weeping Woman. Her plot was purchased by the brother of Governor Jackson, John J. Jackson Jr.
John
Hey,
J.
John
Jingleheimer
J.
Smith.
That's exactly what it reminded me of when I looked it up. I'm like, dang. To kind of just mark the Jackson family plot. It is not, as many think, a replica or to be illustrated as Lily Irene Jackson, who was a descendant of John J. Jackson Jr. and a West Virginia artist / art organizer specializing in painting animals.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
That's pretty much all she was. Like I said, that statue was not
Meant to be
meant to
her, but
depict her.
a
But
lot of people
a
think
lot
it
of
is.
people really do think it is. Yeah, because it was just simply purchased as a person praying for the family.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
She watches over the relatives of Confederate General Stonewall Jackson. So, however, if you believe the stories, she looks over everyone who pays her a visit, not just the Jackson family. Her stone headrest has become an altar of sorts, adorned with everything from flowers to coins and small bottles of wine. According to local legends, this effigy is said to grant wishes. The legend goes that she awakes during the full moon, which I noted in yours too. I'm like, I was gonna say something, but I'm like, I'm not gonna spoil mine. So, like, why is it always a full moon?
Why is it always at night?
I don't know.
The night thing I do understand because it's typically said between like midnight and dawn. The veil between us and the spirit realm is the thinnest.
Yeah.
Especially at 3 a.m. That's why 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour.
Yeah.
And that's basically what allows people to go between, or spirits, not people, spirits to go between
Mhm.
their realm and our realm. Why it's always on the full moon, I don't necessarily understand that, because I feel like it would kind of work. I do believe, though, in the energy of the moon, so maybe with it being a full moon, it's at its highest energy. And
Maybe.
typically, like, new moon represents beginning of cycles and things like that,
Mhm.
so maybe the full moon, which represents like endings, is also kind of symbolic of a thin
Okay.
veil in some way. I don't know.
Okay.
That might be a little bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
still.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I just thought that was like funny because yours
Yeah.
was also full moon. Yeah, so it is said that she awakes during the full moon, watching over her family in the cemetery, while her statue actually cries real tears.
When's the next
Mhm.
full moon?
I don't know.
Now,
Huh.
I've actually heard, now if this is already in your notes, I'm so sorry, that the way that the statue was built, like on days that it rains, it actually looks like she's crying.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I think, yeah, I don't have it in here though,
Okay.
but I do remember seeing that when researching her. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing, like, it, well, I don't know if she was, I don't think it said she was legitimately built that way,
Mm-hmm.
but it did say, like, the way she was built, that it actually does do that a lot.
Okay.
After it's rained or something, then, like, yeah, it'll look like she actually was crying.
Okay.
The Weeping Woman is famous enough that people come from miles around to see her, to ask her to grant a wish. She's known especially for granting pregnancies within a year of touching her if you are pure of heart and intention. But beware if you're not, because as you turn to walk away, you might feel a stone hand twist itself in your shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Weeping Woman is known to rip clothes, pull hair, and most troublingly, unzip the pants of those who displease her.
Oh dear.
She's a prankster.
Yeah,
I like her.
right. So you people who spun that story of the mother blood, and watch out. We will send the Weeping Woman after you.
Right?
All right. Now, in addition to the Weeping Woman, though, other lore swirls around the cemetery. Former nearby residents Ben and Natalie Bradley reported having their own encounters with some sort of spirit. During their time living in a 13th Street house that sits up against the cemetery, Natalie said she began to have dreams of a woman named Lucy Pierpont, a name she didn't recognize at the time. Around the same time, Natalie's wedding band had vanished from her dresser. She searched everywhere but had no luck tracking it down. Simultaneously, Ben had developed an interest in local genealogy and discovered a headstone for Lucy Pierpont Jones and her infant son just 100 yards behind their home. He went out there, found her grave, and said out loud, "You've got me confused with someone else, and if you have the ring, you need to bring it back." Within 24 hours, the ring was back on the dresser, right where it had been before.
Oh, that's weird.
That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd he say you got me confused with someone else?
Yeah.
Because when I was researching, I think it was the woman in Natalie's dreams kept saying that Ben was her husband.
Oh.
So I believe, so I'm pretty sure that Lucy Pierpont Jones in the cemetery was married to a Ben of some sort and
Yeah.
confused Natalie's husband for her own.
Or even
Okay.
maybe like somebody that looked like
That-
Ben
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think in the dreams she said her husband's name was Ben.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But that's pretty much the history with that and ghost story with that. I mean, there's not really much more. It's mainly just, like I said, the history and the Weeping Woman really is like the only ghost story that I could find for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did actually visit the cemetery myself, and I did touch the woman's statue, because we were trying at that time too, actually, to have a baby. And I did get pregnant actually within that year. But a little small, quick trigger warning for pregnancy loss people, I did end up losing the baby. It was still successful. Like I said, I was still able to get pregnant within that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've heard a little bit about the Weeping Woman too. Like I've heard people say that sometimes you can catch her walking around the cemetery, like a spirit of her.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, like the full moon thing in my thing where it's like she's like walking around watching over the family.
yeah, but my boss, so I'm a tattoo artist, and the co-owner of the shop, her name's Nikki, she was talking to me about it, and she actually said that she also went at one point and I'm assuming touched the statue. She said, "Yeah, I went and well, my girl is here." She had touched it and found out she was pregnant within, I think it was just a couple months, because it was still within
Hmm.
the year that she actually gave
Yeah.
birth to her
Yeah,
girl, which was super cool to hear. I was just like, damn, like
yeah,
that
like
thing's
it,
got a little bit of merit to it.
right? Like it's not just really a legend much anymore. It's actual like stories. Because like there's so many out there where it's like, yeah, I went to visit this statue and I did, like, it was still true. Like I did get pregnant within that year and everything. Like there's multiple stories of that.
Yeah.
So it makes you do think like, well, actually, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
'cause like I
okay.
said, I
Stay
had
away
a
from me.
right. Yeah, well, because it's like I had visited myself, so like I already have kind of a half successful story with
Well,
that.
no, I mean, you have a successful story with it.
In a
Yeah,
way,
but
yeah.
It just
in a way, yes,
ended a bit more
badly.
traumatically and unfortunately and sadly.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like,
all of the unfortunate verbs that we could use.
Yes.
pretty much.
Um,
Yeah, like it did not
but
have a happy ending, but it was still within that year that they say for
yeah,
you if you touched her with good intentions, pure heart.
Now, I've been to that cemetery and I have also seen the Weeping Lady.
Mhm.
I don't remember touching her, but I do remember when I went into the cemetery. When you walk in, it feels old. Does that make sense? When you
yeah,
walk in
Yeah,
and the energy, it just feels old.
yeah, because I mean, like it was a cemetery. It started in like 1801,
Yeah.
yeah,
which is still pretty astonishing to think about because one, most Wood County citizens are actually buried there, but it's also like one of the smallest ones in Parkersburg.
Yeah.
If it has more Wood County citizens than like the other ones that are much larger.
Yeah.
how overlapped are they in a
Exactly.
sense?
Yeah, because like it's not that big of a
No,
cemetery,
it
and
Yeah,
isn't.
that's just mind-boggling. Because
yeah,
Yeah.
it's because like I said, you and I have both been there. It's not that huge. It only took like what 20 minutes to walk the whole thing.
Yeah, I'd say. If that.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, folks, I think that's all we have for you this episode. Next episode, we are going to be talking about true crime in West Virginia.
Hell yeah, we are.
And
Um,
I'm just listening into
yeah,
it.
yeah. Cass here isn't the biggest fan of true crime, so she'll just be
No, I'm
sitting in.
very sensitive with blood and gore,
Valid.
and then like true crime stuff gets like I get very paranoid and get nightmares.
And I mean, we'll always do a bit of trigger warning for anything that is really graphic.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
A little bit of
Yeah.
like
And
spoiler, or not really a spoiler, but I'll
no.
be covering Rita Mays next week, and she is not a graphic killer. I mean, obviously she still kills
Well,
people, which
yeah.
is awful, but it's not like blood and gore as is
Mhm.
typical with actually
Yeah.
female serial killers. So
Yeah. But like I said, it just really depends too on the story for me. So I'm like I'll still be like listening in and obviously like hearing your guys' segments, but like for me doing any research that would be more triggering than just hearing it.
Yeah.
But I will be like stepping out if it gets too
yeah,
much for me.
Of course.
valid.
Hatter here does like all the grisly details.
I that sounds so bad. I don't like them. I do find the stories intriguing, And I do think that the psychology into serial killers is fascinating, but more importantly, and the biggest thing for me, is that I think the stories of the victims need to be shared.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
to spread awareness.
spread
Yeah.
awareness, and just like a lot of them, I mean, no matter when they were killed, they were taken too soon. Like, that
Yes.
wasn't supposed to be the time they went.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to share that, and to, if we can share their life story, to share a little bit about who they were as a person at the very least, so that the world kind of knows them more as just, Jack the Ripper's victim or something like that.
Yeah. Like they
So,
know them that actually like that's the person they were before they were taken too soon
yeah,
and
exactly.
too brutally
Exactly.
most of the
So,
time.
yeah. Um
Stay tuned
Yeah.
for that.
yeah, stay tuned for
Yeah.
next week.
Stay tuned.
So don't go too far because we'll catch you in the next investigation.
Ooh.
I love that. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.